Okay, so coming to the last part of the lesson now, we will be talking about
Last.
yes, human health and diseases. The last part is about adolescence. Okay, now the
Edo.
question in your mind कि adolescence जैसा part है which we have already discussed in human sexual reproduction also, why it is included under human health and diseases. So it is quite correct because see, when you talk about health, it is not just the physical health. WHO के definition के updated definition के हिसाब से health of a human being includes physical, mental, social, spiritual health, covering everything.
Physical, mental, social, spiritual.
Yes, so that is why we are talking also about adolescence over here, but major part of it we have already discussed earlier. So you know something called SSC, secondary sexual characters.
Yes, of course.
Right. So we have also discussed about the point that when you say adolescence, it is the stage where a person is transforming from a child to an adult. Right.
Okay,
So
got it.
it is like a boy is turning into a man and a girl is turning into a woman.
Okay.
ये जो transitional growth है, okay, उसको adolescence बोलते हैं. So it is obviously not an overnight thing. Right, you went to sleep, you were a girl, you got up, you are a woman. Right, so it is a slow process, right, over a period of years. That is adolescence. So adolescence is like properly to happen, you can say it is a age group of approximately say 10 to 19 years of age.
19?
10 to 19. Okay, adolescence ke liye. And in adolescence there is something called puberty. Puberty is that point of time in the life of an adolescent when the reproductive maturity begins.
Maturity.
Yes. So reproductive maturity का beginning, उसके symptom, उसके sign जो है, it is different in males and females. In the males, it is the first ejaculation of semen, okay, from the penis, and in females, it is the first. It is the first menstrual periods. Okay? Of course, but that is puberty, which is a part of adolescence. Okay, that's why it is not a fixed time period, it is a phase of life.
Phase.
Correct. So when you talk about adolescence as a phase of life, so there are physical changes that take place as well as mental development. So there is sexual maturity, reproductive maturity, mental development, and adult identity. Okay, and you tend to become more emotionally dependent. Okay, or you want to become relatively independent, like you don't like to take instructions from anyone. Okay, like वो tendency आ जाता है कि नहीं मुझे मत सिखाओ, मुझे सब आता है. To become more aggressive, कोई कुछ बोलने जाए तो सुनना नहीं.
Yes sir, got it.
Yes, right. So ये सब tendency शुरू हो जाता है, but there are some, see, having that tendency is normal, that is a part of growth. But it doesn't mean that you can take that excuse and say कि हाँ adolescent है तो मैं तो ऐसे ही करेगा करके. Okay, there are things which have to be set right at the right age. Okay. Otherwise, if it is not corrected at the correct stage, it will lead to very damaging things in the future. And if time पे अगर नहीं सीखेंगे तो आगे कभी नहीं सीखेंगे फिर. And there are cases which have happened where people have destroyed their lives because of all this. So there are positive aspects as well as negative aspects to be learned for adolescents.
Yes.
Okay, so there is something called National Youth Policy by the government. So adolescents को government of India ने रखा है 13 to 19 years के बीच में. Okay. Yes. So early पूरा adolescent का जो stage है उसको 3 stage में divide किया है. Early period is from 10 to 14 years. Okay.
10 to 14.
Middle period is from 15 to 17. And late period is from 18 to 19. ठीक है?
Okay.
So early period में क्या होगा? Beginning of adolescence. So SSA will just begin. Okay, there will be rapid physical growth, some difference in the thinking. Okay, independence or dependence का boundary थोड़ा change होगा. People would like to explore themselves. Okay, first time a kind of a conscious thought will arise. How do I look? What do people think about my appearance, etc. etc. It's a thought. Okay, we cannot be judgmental about it. ऐसा नहीं कि वो thought आया तो गलती है करके, but वो समझना भी important है ना. We cannot ignore our own body, right?
Exactly.
Intense friendship develop होते हैं, right?
Hmm.
Counter instability, evaluation. So person is at the verge of being changing. So there is a sudden change, 10 to 14 years के age में. So it's a very sensitive stage. सही तरीके से handle करना जरूरी है, right? Similarly, the middle period of adolescence. So SSC is almost fully developed. Okay. Then growth generally slows down because growth of a human being is slow after a certain age. 18-19 के बाद growth नहीं होता है as such, right? So almost yes, adult form जो body का तैयार होगा वो almost 95% तैयार हो जाता है. Okay, concrete thinking, some mature thinking even under stressful conditions, right?
Yes.
Then re-establishing of body image.
Yes.
Long-term vision and planning can start because see 15 to 17 is even that stage of life when you are planning your career, you are thinking about which profession to take, college life start हो जाते हैं simultaneously, also, right? So in those situations, one should become more responsible. So that's the reason college people, they conduct this kind of competitions and programs and some kind of teamwork, right? So they will understand how to work in a team, right?
Okay.
Okay. Sense of leadership. One person will be a team leader, तो उसको समझ में आएगा कैसे handle करना है situation, right? Then of course there are a lot of fantasies involved, which is a part of growth because there are sex hormones which are released, right? So one starts getting the ability to get attracted towards opposite sex. Okay, it is attraction, infatuation, and that is completely normal. But how you manage it is important. Like one should never go to such an extreme that you're damaging someone else's life as well as your own life.
Yes, right.
It is a passing phase. ठीक है, but getting that feeling is not something incorrect या ऐसे guilty feeling वगैरह नहीं आना चाहिए कि ऐसे कैसे मैंने सोच लिया है ना. Okay, it is correct. Yes. But managing it is very, very important, right? So your peer group, the friend circle. So ये सब ऐसा stage है where you should increase your circle in such a way that you interact with more people, and that is the stage where you should develop your personality.
Sure, yes.
And you should try to understand what is good, what is bad, and how to avoid the bad and go for the good.
Correct.
Okay, ये बहुत जरूरी है, right? At the same time, that time the thinking should arise that I am also a part of the society and I should be contributing something to the society also.
Contributing.
Yes. So the main thing, and because 15 to 17 is a student life. So the first thing by which you can contribute is by doing your studies well and making a good career.
Yes, yes, right? Sure.
That maturity is understandable, right? And सबसे important चीज जो mostly adolescence में होता है, it is aggressiveness. बहुत आसान है एकदम ऐसा कुछ भी बड़क से बोल देने का, okay, hyper हो जाने का, वो बहुत आसान है, but that is wrong. It is nowhere justified in any way.
Okay, got it.
तो ये control करना बहुत जरूरी है, and that is something कोई कितना भी समझाए, जब तक वो इंसान खुद नहीं करेगा उसका कोई फायदा नहीं. Because there are cases which have happened where because of this sudden spurt behavior, things have got damaged like anything. Things have damaged. And it is common for males and females. ठीक है, तो ये बहुत जरूरी है. This is the stage where you should learn patience. It is extremely important because patience सीख गए ना life में सब handle कर लोगे. Okay, that's really important. So last period or the late period of adolescence is establishment of total physical maturity, intellectual identity, because 18-19 मतलब like say for example you are into graduation stage पढ़ाई में, right? तो graduation में और subjects को deeply explore करते हैं, so your intellect increases, your application का skills develop हो जाते हैं, right? Memory improve होते हैं, right?
Yes.
Then individual relationships can start. Some people are close friends, some others are general friends. हो जाता है, like it's always जितने भी friends होंगे सबके साथ same relation नहीं होगा ना, कोई थोड़ा normal friend होगा, कोई थोड़ा close friend होगा, तो one should try to explore everything, right? And ultimately changing from childhood to adulthood.
Oh sir.
Okay. What happened?
Adult.
Yes, of course. Right? Understood this?
Yes.
So
Yes.
physical changes that happen during adolescence. Okay.
This too
So
happened, no?
yeah, so it's like there is a sudden spurt in the growth of body,
Hmm.
right? So in the case of boys, muscles develop, skin becomes more oily because of sebaceous glands, right? Voice
Hmm.
cracking, okay? All types of body hair
मुझे
will
लगता है.
increase,
Yes.
okay? So it's like underarms,
Yes.
chest hair, pubic hair, facial hair, right? Enlargement of the
Hair.
penis and testes will take place. In the case of girls,
Okay.
there is a
Yes.
development of the breast, widening of the head,
Hmm.
right? Development of underarm and pubic hair, right? Enlargement of the
Correct.
primary sex organs, uterus and ovaries. All these are a
Hmm.
part of the physical changes which take place, right?
हाँ.
Sexual development also
Hmm.
take place. The sex organs become mature and they enlarge, okay? Because
Hmm.
of the hormones, sex hormones, there is a sexual desire which occurs, okay? Erection of penis takes
Okay.
place, sperm production, ejaculation, okay, ovulation, menstruation. You are aware about all these terms,
हाँ, of course.
correct? So initiation of
Yes.
sexual behavior can start, like there might be a tendency, there can a tendency arise in order to explore the opposite sex, okay?
Oh, okay.
Because there is no proper awareness. Like in the
Hmm.
case of males, they might feel like wanting to explore the female sex and vice versa. Okay, so
Hmm.
that is the time when sexual behavior has to be rationalized. It should not create
Okay, got
problems for
it.
any of the genders. Correct?
Hmm.
That is important. Then emotional and social changes happen. Like you want
Yes.
your own identity, you have fantasies, you have
हाँ.
daydreams. Okay, like there is something
हाँ.
called एक आता है क्या बोलते हैं उसको ADHD बोलते हैं, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Okay,
अभी ये क्या है?
हाँ ये ऐसा है ना कि
Kai.
जनरली इट हैपेंस कि सपोज लाइक देयर इज अ बैच ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, ठीक है, एंड
Hmm.
वन ऑफ द स्टूडेंट हैज दिस डिसऑर्डर फॉर एग्जांपल, तो वो क्या करेगा, उसको हमेशा ऐसा चाहिए कि लोग मेरी तरफ देखें, कि आई शुड बी,
Oh.
तो उसके लिए वो कुछ भी
Attention.
नखरा करेगा.
Okay.
ओके, कुछ ना कुछ करते बैठे, लाइक सब शांत बैठे, इसको ही कुछ ना कुछ करना है in
Yes.
order to gain the
Correct.
attention of the teacher. So here that
हाँ.
person will do something wrong knowingly also, so that कि teacher उसको डांटे and सब लोग उसको देखे तो उसको अच्छा लगता है. So this is an attention
मुझे
seeking
नहीं. Okay,
behavior
got it.
which is
Yes.
which has to be properly
There is a
channelized.
disorder ऐसा.
Disorder,
भी
yes,
disorder है.
yes. Okay,
Oh.
इसको ज्यादा encourage नहीं
Okay.
करना है, otherwise it can create problems. ठीक है?
Yes.
Then it's like
Hmm.
young people are quite energetic, enthusiastic, right? तो उसको सही जगह पे channelize करना
yes.
जरूरी है. Okay, when one has to
Hmm.
ensure that they don't fall into wrong tendencies. Okay, पूरा life
Okay,
में
sure.
that is very very important. Rapid mood
Hmm.
changes happen. आज एकदम खुश तो कल एकदम depressed.
Yes,
Please,
yes, yes, sure, sure. Yes.
right? So one should know how to be stable. Okay, ये आना जरूरी है, but उसको manage करके if you learn stability, you will do wonders in life.
मैं है.
It is very important. So stable रहना
Yes.
जरूरी है. एकदम फटाक से कुछ भी बोल देते हैं, कुछ भी सोच लेते हैं, एक्सट्रीम एंड पे सोचते हैं, वो सब गलत है. ठीक है, इट कैन नॉट बी जस्टिफाइड इन एनी वे. यस, यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, राइट? हाँ.
Yes.
देन यू नो पीयर
Sure.
प्रेशर. पीयर प्रेशर मतलब
Peer
फ्रेंड
pressure
सर्कल,
मतलब
कॉलेज
peer
लाइफ
pressure.
बढ़ जाते हैं, स्कूल टू कॉलेज मींस देयर इज एन इंक्रीज इन द फ्रीडम लेवल.
Oh yes.
तो
Oh
से
yes.
फ्रेंड्स के लाइक इट्स लाइक in order to maintain your status among your friends, you might enter into some behavior which is unacceptable.
Oh
जैसे
really?
सिगरेट
हाँ.
स्मोकिंग, एडिक्शन, तो फ्रेंड सर्कल चिढ़ाएंगे, अरे इसमें क्या इतना क्या डरता है, करके देख ले एक बार में क्या होता है, ऐसे करके शुरू करेंगे.
हाँ.
And that is where the peer pressure arises. So those who are good
Okay.
friends, those who are true friends, will never want you to indulge into all this.
हाँ, of course.
That
Yes.
peer pressure is not something you should look at. कि friends जरूरी है. You should have friends in life, but they cannot judge things for you. They cannot determine things for you. इस
Yeah, of
स्टेज में
course.
आकर ये जरूरी है. That's the reason when I told you, करियर के बारे में भी जो भी डिसीजन लेना है, you take the decision.
Yeah, I don't.
You
Yeah.
collect information, you take suggestions, you get ideas, but वो सब ध्यान में रख के सोच के डिसाइड करने का काम खुद करने का.
ठीक है, got it.
Okay, don't let anyone take decisions for you.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. See, I'm not telling कि मतलब parents कुछ मेरे लिए decide करने का ही नहीं, वो भी गलत है. Don't take it that way also.
Yes.
Getting it? Parents will always think the best for you. Okay, इसका मतलब
I
ये
know.
नहीं कि एकदम से उनको enemy बना के रखना. See, avoid looking at your parents as the enemy. It happens ना कि
Yeah,
मतलब parents कुछ भी बोलो
हाँ.
तो फिर एकदम से गुस्सा आ जाता है, कैसे बार बार मुझे बोलते रहते हैं ऐसा वैसा करके. I'll tell you one example. Just few days back, last week का मैंने newspaper में पढ़ा. Okay, one girl from Delhi. She was just 14 years old, 10th standard की student. ठीक है. So she had the habit of speaking to her friends for long time on phone calls. तो उसके मम्मी ने उसको थोड़ा सा डांट दिया कि मतलब फोन वगैरह इतना करते नहीं, बैठना है, बोर्ड एग्जाम्स आ रहे हैं, पढ़ाई कर. दिस इज कम्प्लीटली नॉर्मल, एनी पेरेंट विल टेल दैट, एंड वो सुनना भी
Oh,
चाहिए.
sir, can you repeat the story? आपका ये चला गया था.
Okay, okay. See what I was telling. This is an example from Delhi which happened recently, just last week.
14 years girl.
14 years girl, 10th standard की student. Okay, she had the habit. Now adolescent stage हो गया ना. She had the
हाँ.
habit of chatting with friends on phone for a long time.
Oh
फोन पे
no.
अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ लगी रहती थी, एंड उसके मम्मी ने एक बार उसको थोड़ा सा डांट दिया कि बोर्ड एग्जाम्स आर कमिंग अप, डोंट वेस्ट सो मच टाइम ऑन फोन कॉल्स. पढ़ाई पे फोकस कर. दिस इज समथिंग एनी पेरेंट विल से, एंड इट इज कंप्लीटली नॉर्मल. द चाइल्ड हैज टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट, राइट?
Yes.
बट शी गॉट एग्रेसिव. वो एग्रेसिव हो गई, उसको गुस्सा आ गया, एंड शी लेफ्ट फ्रॉम हर होम एट दिल्ली. भाग गई अपने घर से. You won't believe, she left on her own. She came to Delhi station, train पकड़ लिया, she came to Mumbai.
हाँ.
He was unaware, उसको बस गुस्से में निकल गई वो. This is what I was telling, कि अपने बिहेवियर पे कंट्रोल नहीं रख पाई, माइंड पे कंट्रोल नहीं रखा, बिहेवियर पे कंट्रोल नहीं रखा. Okay, a 14-year-old girl
मैं एक बार
alone.
घर छोड़ के गार्डन में गई थी बिकॉज मुझे चॉकलेट नहीं मिला था.
Very nice.
7th standard में.
Okay, so this girl I'm telling, she just 14-year-old girl on her own, she left from Delhi, train पकड़ के बैठ गई, मुंबई पहुंच गई. She didn't know where she was. First time visiting Mumbai. Vasai Road station उतर गई. Vasai Road उतरने के बाद she was like completely blank कि अभी कहाँ जाए. And station उतर के she came out of the station. Auto stand पे गई. Randomly एक ऑटो वाले को पूछी. ऐसे जाके पूछ रही कि I want an accommodation. मेरे लिए कहीं रूम अरेंज करना है और मुझे कहीं जॉब करना है. Imagine a 14-year-old girl telling this. It was her sheer luck that the auto person was a good fellow. उसको डाउट हो गया कि मतलब शी इज सच अ यंग गर्ल, कहीं से आके अचानक से बोल रही मुझे घर चाहिए, मुझे नौकरी चाहिए, ऐसे कैसे मिलेगा कहीं पे. तो ही एनक्वायर्ड कि शो योर आधार कार्ड करके. उसने दिखाया, आधार कार्ड लेके निकली थी वो. उसने दिखाया तो उसको पता चला तो 14 इयर्स की है सिर्फ, शी इज अ चाइल्ड. तो दैट पर्सन टुक द राइट डिसीजन. उसने ट्रैफिक पुलिस के पास लेकर गया उस लड़की को. अगर उसको वहीं कहीं छोड़ देता तो शी कुड हैव गॉन इनटू रॉन्ग हैंड्स. तो उसने अच्छा दिमाग लगाया, उसने आरटीओ ट्रैफिक पुलिस के पास लेकर गया. वहां पर उस लड़की से बात करके उसका इंफॉर्मेशन निकाले कि लाइक हु आर यू, फ्रॉम वेयर हैव यू कम एंड ऑल. शी टोल्ड द राइट थिंग कि दिल्ली के रहने वाले, वहां से ऐसे गुस्से में भाग के आ गई करके. फिर पुलिस को कांटेक्ट किया, दिल्ली पुलिस को कांटेक्ट किया, उसके पेरेंट्स को इन्फॉर्म किया, उनको बुला के शी वाज सेंट विद हर पेरेंट्स.
ओके.
इमेजिन, इज दिस बिहेवियर एक्सेप्टेबल?
ओके.
अब पेरेंट्स क्या बोल रहे हैं कि पढ़ाई कर, फोन पे बात कम कर. इतना भी सुनने का ताकत नहीं है आज के जनरेशन को. पूरा लाइफ बाद हो सकता था ना उसका. एंड दिस इज अ रियल स्टोरी, आई एम नॉट मेकिंग एनी स्टोरी.
आई नो.
न्यूज़पेपर देख,
न्यूज़पेपर में था ये.
यस, दैट ऑटो ड्राइवर जिसने सही डिसीजन लिया उसको फेलिसिटेट किया.
ओके.
ही सेव्ड द लाइफ ऑफ द गर्ल ना, इन अ वे.
हाँ.
Getting
नाइस.
it? So every time you may not come across good people like this. अभी उस लड़की के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ना, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एडोलेसेंस ओवर हियर. कि एडोलेसेंस स्टेज में उसको सिर्फ पढ़ाई कर करके बोला तो इतना गुस्सा आ गया, घर छोड़ के भाग गई. इट इज नॉट एट ऑल एक्सेप्टेबल. क्या पेशेंस है, क्या माइंड पे कंट्रोल है उसका.
यस.
पेरेंट्स का इतना भी नहीं बोलने का कि पढ़ाई कर, फोन पे बात मत कर करके. गेटिंग इट? That's the
Getting it.
that's the reason one should understand कि ऐसे एकदम गुस्से में आके कुछ भी डिसीजन ले लेना बहुत आसान है.
Yes.
एक गलत डिसीजन पूरा लाइफ बर्बाद कर सकता है.
Yes.
Getting it? That is a part of human health we are talking about here. And there are real cases which have happened where people have spoiled their lives also. इसलिए यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है देखिए, listen to your parents with an open mind and try to see their point of view. Very nicely written.
Okay.
Are you getting it? And share your feelings with your parents. That is important. There has to be a proper communication.
Yeah, of course.
Is it clear? Okay, you should understand the fact that you are also responsible for your family in whichever way it is. Okay, so जैसे जैसे time के साथ बढ़ेंगे, that's why your responsibilities will also increase. And one should be able to accept criticism. That is really very very important. ये भी बहुत कम हो गया आजकल कि कोई अगर कुछ बोले ना कि तेरा ये लिमिटेशन है, तेरा ये अच्छा नहीं है, इसको सुधार, वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं होता किसी को, नेगेटिवली लेते कितना. So that is, see, if people are telling you this, it is for your own improvement, no? जो सही तरीके से बोलते हैं उनका बोलने का काम है. If you don't take it, it is your fault.
Yes, correct.
You think it? So be courteous, be considerate. No aggressive behavior of any type. That is really very important. Is it clear?
Sure, sir.
यही सब mental health के बारे में देखना. Okay, so all these points which I said, okay, nausea, frustration, irritation, less concentration, hyperactivity. That day I scolded you for this. Remember, you did not have your food and all because पढ़ना था. ये सब nonsense है. I don't accept this.
पढ़ने के लिए नहीं खाया मैंने because
whatever it
I
is.
wasn't even hungry.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. Proper meals at the proper time. That is really important. Getting it? ये सब बहाने हैं. हाँ.
बहाने नहीं है, सब कुछ बहाना नहीं होता है. नहीं.
Insomnia. Okay, बहुत टाइम तक नींद नहीं आना है. Right?
Even if I tell the truth, you will say बहाना करके.
ना, ये देखिए, यही मैं बोल रहा हूँ.
But I am telling the truth ना. What is wrong with telling the truth?
अरे.
I was actually full that day.
But what was the reason for that?
Because morning में I ate बहुत heavy breakfast.
So morning में खाया ना, तो उसके बाद क्या lunch करने का ही नहीं? Every day you have breakfast, lunch, everything.
इतना heavy था कि बाद में मुझे भूख नहीं लगा.
But see, क्या हो जाता है ना, कभी-कभी meals का proper timing जरूरी है. That is important. ठीक है, because तभी नहीं लगेगा तो थोड़ा सा खा लेने का, बाद में फिर सही लगेगा. Okay.
Okay, I will.
Yes. So amnesia, loss of memory. Okay.
Amnesia.
Yes. There is a condition called bulimia, extreme overindulgence of food. Okay. Then anorexia, anxiety, depression, etc. This is common हो गया आजकल, and this is many of the times now it is completely avoidable. It's just that the person does not have patience. That's the only thing. Yes, so that's the reason I'm telling it should lead to a positive personality development. Because whatever the adolescent thinks and decides in that stage becomes a part of the adult personality.
Yes, of course.
ये बहुत जरूरी है, ठीक है? So now there is something called जैसे mental health के लिए एक और awareness जरूरी है कि पहले एक time था when a person was having any kind of mental problems and वो अगर psychologist, psychiatrist के पास जा रहे हैं तो society उनको अलग नजर से देखते थे. एक word में बोल देते ये पागल है करके, which is incorrect. Okay, it's like suppose if you're having stomach pain, fever है, ऐसा कुछ है तो डॉक्टर जाते हैं ना डॉक्टर के पास.
Correct.
Is there anything wrong कि डॉक्टर के पास जा रहे? It's good that you are taking care of health, in fact.
Yes.
Right? Same way, even for mental health, if you approach the right, correct professional, there is nothing wrong in it. तो ये awareness spread करना जरूरी है. कि sometimes a person can be in such a mental situation कि वो खुद उससे बाहर नहीं आ पाते. So taking a professional help is not at all wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so it is completely acceptable. And see, if you see people who are commenting like this, you should tell them scientifically. And of course, you should not also do this commenting part.
Okay.
तो ये सब mental health के guidelines वगैरह तो awareness spread कर रहे हैं इससे. Okay, तो उसको बोलते हैं mental health gap action program. ठीक है?
Okay, ठीक है, got
Okay.
it.
The last part is all about addiction, which is one of the very dangerous things in adolescence.
Addiction.
Yes.
Yes. Adolescence.
Addiction का मतलब है, see, getting some habits is a different thing.
Hmm.
But habits ऐसा हो जाए कि like दूसरा कुछ करना ही नहीं, उसी के पीछे रहेगा, and that leading to negative behavior is addiction.
Addiction.
Okay, so it's a complex condition as such. ठीक है, तो and which can lead to harmful consequences.
Harmful
Addiction can be for anything. Smoking का addiction होता है, alcoholism का addiction होता है, right? Even आजकल टेक्नोलॉजी के जमाने में मोबाइल फोन्स, सोशल क्या बोलते हैं उसको, सोशल मीडिया, राइट, उसका एडिक्शन हो जाता है, टीवी का एडिक्शन होता है, कंप्यूटर गेम्स का एडिक्शन होता है, राइट, ड्रग्स का एडिक्शन होता है, पोर्नोग्राफी का एडिक्शन हो जाता है. सो मेनी थिंग्स आर देयर, वन पर्सन कैन गेट एडिक्टेड टू इट. ओके, किसी भी तरह का एक्सट्रीम एक चीज में जाना गलत है.
Yes.
And be self-damaging and not acceptable, right? So it affects the hormones, it affects the growth of the body, it affects your other academic aspects, career aspects, personality aspects, and physical, physiological, psychological functions get completely affected. Okay, so that is why getting new habits is good, but getting addicted to anything is wrong.
Okay, got it.
क्यों होता है एडिक्शन एडोलेसेंस के टाइम पे, या व्हाट कैन बी द डिफरेंट रीजंस. ओके, तो जैसे इनसफिशिएंट पेरेंटल सुपरविजन, कि घर में ऐसा सिचुएशन है कि बोथ द पेरेंट्स आर वर्किंग, द चाइल्ड इज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम अलोन एट होम, तो उसको जो मनता है वो कर लेते हैं, नोबडी इज देयर टू सुपरवाइज.
Oh, superfish?
So, yes, it happens. And when a person can be easily connected to others via social networking या virtual world, so a child can easily get into addiction like this. That is why it is necessary to message for the parents ultimately. कि one should keep an eye what the child is doing in the growing stage of life. And that should not be taken as an interference by the child. ये भी उतना ही जरूरी है, right?
हाँ, वो भी important है.
Communication, poorly defined rules, okay, family conflicts, family अपने ही लड़ाई में लड़े हुए तो बच्चा neglect हो गया, it happens, right? Or sometimes even there are parental attitudes toward alcohol and drug users, कि parents खुद उसमें involved है तो बच्चे से क्या expect करेंगे, right? And risk taking behavior, okay. So in order to control this drug abuse, what are the important points to understand? कि avoid any kind of undue pressure. Nobody can ever force you to into all this.
Yes.
Okay. At least इस स्टेज में समझ जाना चाहिए कि पढ़ाई जरूरी है, साइड बाय साइड गुड हेल्थ के लिए स्पोर्ट्स करो, करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज करो, like you are good in this piano, singing and all. That's a good thing.
Yes. Okay.
Right? Because it improves your personality, right? Along with your academics. And ये याद रखना कि prevention is always better than cure.
Yes, I know that. Yes.
Education and counseling is necessary at the right time. So nothing should be hidden from your parents. Okay, बाकी friends के साथ जो कुछ भी share कर रहे हो वो सब ठीक है, but parents should know everything about you.
Of course.
That is important, right? And accept any kind of disappointment. ये हमेशा life में याद रखना कि everything is not going to be in your favor. There will be things that is not comfortable for you.
Yes.
But that is the time that will test your patience. Right? So you should channelize that energy in the right direction. Channelize. Yes. Constructive activities करना. Okay, like for example, suppose you might like cooking. It's a good thing.
नहीं, I don't.
Example बता रहा हूँ. ठीक है, किसी को cooking, किसी को कुछ books read करना पसंद है. Okay, या maybe जैसे cycling वगैरह करना पसंद है. या sometimes gardening can be a hobby. ऐसे कुछ constructive जिससे कोई नुकसान नहीं होगा. ये किसका hobby है? Yes, okay. ऐसे activities में involve करना जरूरी. Okay. And this is the time when you should explore everything. Even in academics, every subject should be learned. You might like one subject more, but doesn't mean that you will ignore other subjects. Because ultimately life में सब आना जरूरी है. Getting it? So especially यहाँ पे इस lesson में focus किया हुआ है drugs abuse के ऊपर. Okay, ठीक है. That is very dangerous, which is one of the worst types of addictions that can happen to anyone. Worst. Yes, because smoking से rehabilitate करना थोड़ा easy है, alcoholism से भी बाहर आना थोड़ा there are people who come out in large numbers, but
हाँ
drugs abuse is something which can be really dangerous, and that can lead to criminal acts also.
यस
तो
करेक्ट
उसको जो लीगली कोर्ट वगैरह जो भी सजा देंगे वो तो करना ही पड़ेगा, इवन इफ अ पर्सन is not aware about what he or she is doing, right? उसको drug abuse बोलते हैं, which is
ठीक
completely
है गॉट इट
avoided, right?
करेक्ट गॉट
तो commonly abused drugs कौन से होते हैं, जैसे opioids, cannabinoids, coca
आई
alkaloids.
डोंट नो दिस
These are obtained from plant sources.
हाँ
Okay,
ओके
see, nature में plants ये सब compounds बनाते हैं, but it is for their own purpose. It is a result of their
Okay.
evolution and adaptation. तो
हाँ
plants के latex में या secondary metabolites वगैरह बन रहे हैं, तो it is for the plant that it is keeping away other animals and insects from harming them.
करेक्ट
Okay, but some of these plants उनके जो secondary metabolites होते हैं वो अगर हम यूज करने जाएंगे तो it causes negative effects on us.
नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स
Yes, तो उसके एग्जांपल्स यहाँ पर दिए हुए, जैसे ये ओपियोइड्स. ओके, तो ओपियोइड्स के जो ड्रग्स होते हैं दे अफेक्ट द सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम एंड गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टाइनल ट्रैक्ट. उसका एक एग्जांपल है दिस ड्रग कॉल्ड हेरोइन.
हीरोइन
हेरोइन बोलते हैं उसको, हेरोइन.
मी
ठीक है, हाँ वाह. ओके,
ओके
हेरोइन ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज स्मैक. ये कॉमन नेम्स है जिससे जाना जाता है. केमिकली उसका नाम है डाइएसिटाइल मॉर्फिन. Okay, and it is obtained from poppy plant, Papaver somniferum.
हाँ
ठीक है, तो it is having a depressant effect and body के activities को slow कर देता है.
ओके गॉट इट
Okay, तो ये example हो गया opioids का. Similarly, there is something called cannabinoids.
कैनाबिनॉइड्स
इसके receptors अपने brain में present है. So drugs वाले कैसे लेते हैं, या तो they inhale it or they consume it. Okay, so ये सीधे affect करेगा cardiovascular system को.
ओके गॉट इट
इसका जो मेन प्लांट है वो है कैनाबिस सटाइवा. ओके, विच इज कॉल्ड marijuana. इसमें से ये ड्रग्स ऑब्टेन करते हैं एंड दे आर कॉल्ड कैनाबिनॉइड्स. सो marijuana, हशीश, चरस, गांजा, ये सब जो कैनाबिनॉइड्स हैं.
मैंने ये पैंडेमिक में मैंने सब नाम सुन लिया.
हाँ, यस, ठीक है. सो दे कम अंडर द ग्रुप ऑफ कैनाबिनॉइड्स. ठीक है. देन सिमिलरली यू हैव कोकेन एल्कलॉइड. ये एक दूसरा प्लांट है एरिथ्रोजाइलम कोका. ओके, तो देयर इज अ हार्मोन कॉल्ड डोपामाइन व्हिच इज अ न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर. उसका लेवल इंक्रीज कर देते हैं. सो कोकेन एल्कलॉइड के वजह से इट कॉजेस एक्सट्रीम हैप्पीनेस, इरिटेबिलिटी, पैरानोया, एकदम ऐसे हाइपर खुश हो जाना वैसा. तो पीपल टेक ड्रग्स फॉर दैट रीजन. तो 3 ग्रुप्स ऑफ ड्रग्स दैट आर मेंशन्ड, तीनों के प्लांट सोर्सेस याद रखने.
ठीक है.
ठीक है. देन यू हैव समथिंग कॉल्ड hallucinogens.
Hallucinogens.
What is hallucination?
मतलब to see things
Which are not there.
which are not there.
हाँ, वहम होना, भ्रम होना.
अच्छा, ओ ओके.
Okay, they cause daydreaming. ठीक है. So lysergic acid, cannabis, they are hallucinogenic substances.
करेक्ट.
कुछ प्लांट सोर्सेस है from which you get this. एक है एट्रोपा बेलाडोना, जिसमें एट्रोपिन करके अल्कोलॉइड आते हैं. दूसरा होता है दतुरा स्पीशीज. दतुरा. ठीक है. They have hallucinogenic properties. Yes, so it's like you get unreal perceptions.
हाँ.
Okay, unreal मतलब ऐसा दिखेगा that you might believe that it is something there, but it is not existing.
But it is actually not there. Yes.
It is a disorder. So it's like they take you into another world as such. उसको hallucinogens बोलते हैं. ठीक है.
हाँ, okay, got it.
तो ये देखना, LSD करके ड्रग्स होते हैं, lysergic acid dimethylamide. you have barbiturates, amphetamine, benzodiazepines, ये सब derive करते हैं barbiturates.
Oh, sorry, आगे भी है.
Okay, cannabis sativa. Sometimes it's like, see, ये सब कुछ ड्रग्स होते हैं जो sometimes doctors use as medicine, but in a certain dose.
Okay.
तो मेडिकली जितना एक्सेप्टेबल है वो लेने के लिए अलग बात है. तो it helps the patient to contract insomnia and depression. Insomnia is lack of sleep.
I know.
तो नींद का गोली जैसे बोलते हैं, right? So one cannot take it without doctor's consultation. ठीक है. तो ये सब समझना जरूरी है, right? And then addiction and dependence, as I said, okay, why people get dependent upon these drugs. Okay, what can be the reasons why they start all this? And drugs के वजह
Yes.
से दूसरा impacts क्या हो जाते हैं कि like a person gets habituated to drugs, and अगर उसको सही टाइम पे ड्रग्स नहीं मिला तो वो बहुत aggressive behavior में जाकर they can do even criminal
Okay.
acts, murder वगैरह कर देते हैं ड्रग्स के लिए,
Okay.
चोरी वगैरह करते हो, because ultimately they want money to buy drugs. Okay, and their behavior becomes totally worst. And they lose their family life also. कितना पूरा damage कर देता है
Yes.
completely. So it is completely unacceptable, right? Unpleasant
Yes.
withdrawal syndrome, right? Anxiety, trembling, nausea, sweating. So जो rehabilitation centers होते हैं, that is where they teach these people in every way. उनका meditation वगैरह करवाते हैं. Okay, so many things, positive things are there. Energies are channelized. There is a particular scientific way of this rehabilitation to be done. Okay.
Rehabilitation.
Yes, and drugs and alcohol abuse के effects क्या होते हैं? Right? You know very well कि जैसे reckless behavior, vandalism and violence, है ना?
Yes.
ये criminal acts कर लेते हैं ultimately. And if a person takes excessive dosage of the drugs, it can lead to coma and death also. Because respiratory failure, heart failure, cerebral hemorrhage, anything can happen. And alcohol drugs अगर साथ में ले लिए तो फिर तो खत्म.
Yes.
Yes. तो यूथ में स्पेशली अगर ड्रग्स एंड अल्कोहल अब्यूज होता है तो उसके सिम्टम्स क्या है कि लाइक सपोज वी एज टीचर्स इफ यू नोटिस तो बिहेवियर में क्या क्या देखना है हमें कि एकेडमिक्स परफॉर्मेंस सडनली ड्रॉप हो गया किसी का. ओके, स्कूल कॉलेज में बहुत एब्सेंट रहने लग गए, डिफॉल्टर्स में आने लगे, राइट? किसी भी तरह का पर्सनल हाइजीन पे ध्यान नहीं देता, पर्सन इज वेरी अनकेप्ट. ओके, नॉर्मली स्कूल कॉलेज जाते हैं तो कैसे नीटली जाते हैं ना, अच्छे कपड़े पहन कर, right? So sometimes that becomes too abnormal. Withdrawal, the child is not interacting with anyone else in the class, right?
Yes, yes.
Tiredness, fatigue, very aggressive or rebellious behavior. Okay, family friends में कोई interest नहीं है, hobbies नहीं है कुछ, excessive sleeping या not sleeping at all, eating habits भी वैसे fluctuate करता है, ये सब warning signs है. Okay, which is very damaging. Damaging. And as I said कि मतलब far reaching implications भी हो सकते हैं. To get the money to buy these drugs and alcohol, a person go to any extent.
Yes.
And
Correct.
वो पूरी तरह problem में पड़ जाएगा फिर. Right? So sometimes the drug people, the addicts, okay, they take the drugs intravenously, मतलब वो inject करते हैं drugs को. Yes. खुद से इंजेक्ट करते हैं या एक दूसरे को इंजेक्ट करते हैं, that is very dangerous because as we have learned just now, sharing needles can lead to diseases. HIV, hepatitis B, right? So it can have loss of long-term habits.
Got it.
And then alcohol के वजह से nervous system and liver cirrhosis होगा. And alcohol and drug consumption during pregnancy तो वैसे imagine तक नहीं कर सकते, fetus का effect हो जाएगा.
Yes.
Correct. Then performance enhancing drugs भी होते हैं. There are people who are into there are people who are into sports या gymnastics वगैरह जो होते हैं या athletes होते हैं. Okay, for a wrong reason, in order to increase their body muscles and sports performance, वो drugs लेते हैं. उसको performance enhancing, and that is legally incorrect because it's like if you are a sports person and taking part in a competition, so you are competing with others of your own strength, no? तो अपने नेचुरल स्ट्रेंथ पे रिलाई करना है जो हम लोग वर्कआउट वगैरह करके सीखते हैं. Okay, rather than taking drugs and increasing your muscles. तो अगर स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन में अगर ऐसे पकड़ा गया कि किसी ने स्टेरॉइड्स वगैरह लेकर ऐसे इंक्रीज किया है तो उसको डिस्क्वालीफाई कर देते. They are not allowed.
Yes, correct. Got it.
Yes. So there are certain steroids like this which are available. Okay, females में especially masculinization कर देते हैं कि females अगर sports में part ले रहे हैं तो their body features become more muscular like males.
Okay.
ये सब करते हैं. So mood swings, depression, of course for females the reproductive cycles are affected very badly, right?
Yes.
Clitoris का enlargement हो जाएगा, deepening of the voice. Males में देखो acne, increased aggressiveness, depression, testicles का size reduction, decreased sperm production, मेल्स
Yes.
का breast enlargement, okay, premature baldness, क्या क्या नहीं हो सकता है. मतलब ये सब चीजें ऐसे हैं, ये सब सिखाया गया so that you know what is to be avoided.
Yes, correct.
That is the most important point. That is the moral of the story. Okay, prevention is ultimately better than cure.
Yes, got it.
So there is a high chance, there is a more possibility which is observed that adolescent behavior में ये सब देखा गया. And that's the reason it is taught under adolescence कि ये avoid करना चाहिए. तो parents, teachers and adolescents सबका responsibility बनते हैं कि what exactly is that person doing and how to prevent the person from going into any wrong direction.
Okay.
So it becomes the duty of the adolescent also to listen to what is being told. ये अगर नहीं करे तो फिर कोई फायदा नहीं. So listening ability, listening power होना बहुत जरूरी है. That's a very important tendency in life. Yes. Getting it? कुछ भी बोलने से पहले ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि I know, come on, don't tell that again and again, ऐसा वैसा करके नहीं शुरू करना. That
Yes,
is
sir,
the
I know.
worst thing. ये
I got
देखिए
it.
वही बोल रहा हूँ मैं.
I got it.
ठीक है? So that finishes with adolescence.
Adolescence.
कैसा लगा? Adolescence and its aspects.
Nice.
Okay, contents are given nicely, good examples are given. So make sure it's not only for your exams that you're learning this part, it is for your life that you're learning these lessons.
Zindagi.
That is very important, right?
Yes.
Exam में लिख के पास हो गया, but life में implement नहीं किया तो कोई फायदा नहीं है. Yes, that is very necessary. Okay, so with that we complete this topic on human health and diseases.
Diseases.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.